Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep / batch cooking video. So this is another great meal prep, especially if you're a beginner, because these are just super simple meals that anybody, even like I said, a beginner can throw together. So there is only one brand new recipe in this meal prep. However, the rest of these meals are not going to disappoint you. You can find all the links to these meals for all the directions and measurements in the description box below, but let's get in the kitchen and let's get started. All right, so we are going to start out with some sausages. These are the Tarantino sausages that I get at Costco. We are not only going to do like Polish sausages like those, but we're also going to do breakfast sausages. But I decided to do the Polish sausages first, and they don't even have to be like fully thawed if you're going to put them in an air fryer. Those ones were not. I just pressed the air fry mode. I do cook them at 400 degrees, and then I left them in there for about 8 minutes, started it, and then I did have to flip them though, so once the 8 minutes was finished, I just took it out of there and flipped the sausages, and then I just put them right back into the air fryer. Again, at the same temperature, but I did reduce the time to 4 minutes. And then after that, they came out perfect. And these are so good to add to eggs in the morning, or you could have them just as a lunch, whatever. These are a great meal prep item. Next up, I'm going to be making breakfast sausages, same brand, the Tarantino from Costco, and these were just a little bit frozen as well. I did put them in the air fryer as well, again at 400 degrees, and the temperature I changed just a little bit, so I put them in for 8 minutes. And then after that 8 minutes, they came out perfect. I didn't have to flip them. I didn't have to put them back in. I actually just really liked the way they came out after that 8 minutes. Again, another great protein to prep ahead of time because it's delicious and easy. Next up, we are going to be making broccoli slaw. No fancy recipe to this. I am using the garlic pepper from the Redmond's Real Salt. I actually won that in a giveaway that Nicole Burgess was having, so that was awesome. Thank you to both of them. But I just threw some grass-fed butter in that pan, threw that entire bag of broccoli slaw, put lots of seasoning on there, and I am just going to saute that up in that butter. If you guys have not had broccoli slaw, it is so good. I like to take it in the mornings and put eggs, like sunny side up eggs over the top of it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And that garlic pepper is delicious. Next up, we are going to be making one of my absolute favorite side dishes. We are making creamy Brussels sprouts. That is actually Brussels sprouts that I got at Sprouts, and you can steam it in the bag. Obviously, I'm going to saute mine up in a pan, so I just took around a tablespoon of grass-fed butter, and we're going to let that melt, and then I dumped that entire bag of Brussels sprouts in there. I think that was like a couple pounds, something like that, but I just put the lid on there because I wanted to make sure that the Brussels sprouts kind of browned a little bit and also softened just a little bit before I went and add the rest of the ingredients. So I like to put in there a nice teaspoon of garlic. I love garlic. Anybody that watches my channel probably knows how much I love garlic. It is delicious. And then after I cooked them for a while, I did put the garlic in there, cooked the garlic with them. And then I put in there 1 entire cup of heavy whipping cream, stirred that around, and then went ahead and added some seasonings. So I'm adding in there some salt, some pepper, and then I also added in there some Badia seasoning. That is like kind of like an all-purpose seasoning. It is delicious. If you guys haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. I put in there a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and then I also put in there a 1/2 cup of, that was like a cheddar jack cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. You can use mozzarella, cheddar jack, cheddar. Italian cheese, whatever kind of cheese you want. Either way, it's going to turn out delicious. And then after it cooked in the pan and, all of the sauce kind of started to thicken up, that was the end result. This is the most delicious side dish ever. Even if you don't like Brussels sprouts, you'll probably love these. Next up, I am going to be making some keto sloppy joes, and oh boy, did this turn out so good. I will have the original recipe in the description box below, along with all the other recipes that I have in this meal prep as well. So we're going to start off with chopping our vegetables. So that is my handy dandy chopper that I love so much. I will link that in the description box below if you guys are interested. It is on Amazon, but I'm just going to put all of those vegetables along with that 2 pounds of ground beef in the pan, and I'm just going to saute all of that up together. And then I'm also going to add some garlic. I'm going to go in with my handy dandy meat masher. And then you'll see I had to switch pans because the pan that I'm using is not big enough, but it is what it is. I'm notorious for that. So I went ahead and added a can of Rotel. That is some diced jalapenos that I had from a different recipe a while back, a tablespoon of tomato paste, a squirt of mustard, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We are going in with all of those seasonings. So we're going to go in with some black pepper, some salt, onion powder, garlic powder, chili powder. And again, be generous with those seasonings. Your food's going to thank you for it. I know we went through all that kind of fast, so remember, it will be in the description box. You can find a link. It will have all of the ingredients and the measurements that you're going to need to prepare this for yourself and your family. We did add some Swerve brown sugar. It says around 3 tablespoons, but I'm actually doubling the batch with this. So that was around 6 tablespoons. And I did go ahead and add another can of Rotel. I was going to try to get away with only using 1, but it needed another one. Once I got all that in there, I just let all those flavors cook together. I put the lid on there, let it all just soak up all those flavors together. I'm telling you guys, every single person in my entire family loved this dish. It was a humongous hit. I highly recommend this. Even your kids are going to love this. You can use low-carb bread or just put it over cauliflower rice. Next up, I'm making a whole chicken. You guys have seen me prepare these on my meal preps before. I like to prepare this kind of stuff because those chickens I get at Costco and they are huge. So it does last my family a little bit longer because like I've said before, I do have a larger family, but I'm going to be using that Redmond's real salt seasoning again. That stuff is delicious, y'all. And then I'm also going to put avocado oil on the chicken before I go ahead and put the seasoning on. I'm going to be using my new air fryer that I did a video on a while back. I have not cooked a whole chicken in that air fryer yet, so I wanted to see how it was going to do. But as you see, I just take the avocado oil and I spread that avocado oil over that entire bird. I do kind of manhandle it a little bit, flip it over, and then I go ahead and I oil that baby up all the way around. And then I take that lemon pepper that is from the Redmond's real salt. I put that all over that baby. We are definitely getting generous here, y'all. And I do go ahead and season up both sides of the bird, even though when I do flip it after it's done halfway, as far as cooking in the air fryer, I do end up adding a little bit more. Then once you're done preparing the chicken, I just go ahead and put that baby in the air fryer, press the power, and then I went ahead and just put it on the chicken mode at 400 degrees to see kind of how that would do, even though I had a feeling it wasn't going to be enough for a whole chicken. That is how it came out. So after it came out looking like that, I did flip it. I put the breast side down first. I cooked that side down first, and then when I flip it, it's breast side up. And then, like I said, at the halfway point, I do go ahead and add a little bit more seasoning. And then I just put it back in. And this time I put it back in, but I left it at 400 degrees. But I did change the time, and I went ahead and put it in for 30 minutes instead of 24. And then that's how it came out. To be honest with you, I think I need to lower the temperature and cook it maybe just a little bit longer because the middle was a little bit red. I had to put it back in for just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just gonna have to play around with it since it is a new air fryer, but it was delicious either way. It was juicy. Next up, we are going to be making chocolate chip cookies. I'm gonna be using the Lily's milk chocolate and the Lily's white chocolate. Can you get any better than that? Heck no. So I'm starting off by putting 2.5 cups of almond flour in there, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Then I just kind of mix that with the whisk because that kind of breaks up the clumps. I'm also putting in there 1/3 cup of monk fruit, sweetener, and then 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And then again, I do go back in with the whisk to kind of break it up. And then I took 1/2 cup of butter, melted it in the microwave, put that in there, as well as 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Vanilla makes everything so much better. And then I'm gonna go in there with 2 eggs. And then I like to stir that up before I go in with the Lily's chocolate chips. So once that's stirred, I added 1/4 cup of each, the milk chocolate and the white chocolate, and then I stirred it in. And then I'm a chocolate lover, so I snuck back in with a little bit more of both of them. So that was, between the both of them, it was probably another 1/4 cup, but obviously you do you. And then I just stirred that up, and then I did get my pan ready. And I like to cover my pan with parchment paper. In my opinion, it's just easier. And the kids wanted extra large cookies, so we made extra large cookies. These literally could have been cut in half, y'all. But you know what? Sometimes the mama's got to do what the mama's got to do. I baked those at 350 degrees, and they took around 15 minutes because they were bigger. If they were smaller, it'd probably only take around 12 minutes, but these were delicious. Tyler's little friend, not little, they're big now, but Tyler's friend tried this, and he said that these tasted like real chocolate chip cookies. So that just makes mama's heart happy. These are delicious. I will have this recipe in the description box below as well. All right, so that is going to conclude this week's meal prep. See, I told you guys it was super simple, easy, but yet delicious food that will get you through the week without too much hassle and without too much stress. I hope you guys found some inspiration and motivation in this meal prep, and hopefully you guys find inspiration and motivation in all my meal preps, because that is why I create these videos, to hopefully inspire you guys to want to get in the kitchen and meal prep for yourself and your family. And hopefully I inspire you guys to learn that keto does not have to be difficult. It can be ridiculously simple. And simple is always my go-to when it comes to recipes. I love simplicity. But if you guys make any of these, or if you guys meal prep, follow me on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram handle in the description box below. Tag me, let me know what you're making, or give me ideas. I love it. So that is all I have for you guys this week. Like always, I'm praying for you, your family, and your country. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. And don't forget to go out there and make today even better than yesterday. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye. On my own, but I don't know why. You hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when